Hi, welcome to Cardano Sense. My name is Anthony, and I'm pretty excited about this video. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I just had to figure out how to do it. So essentially what you're going to see today is my robot, Misty, which you see on the screen right now, is going to be controlled via the blockchain. So I'm going to send commands to the blockchain, and then she, or the app I built, is going to read those commands and then tell Misty what to do, and she's going to perform some actions. Now, on the left-hand side of your screen, I'm sorry if it's a little small, but on the left-hand side of your screen, those are all the actions that Misty is able to do via the blockchain. And obviously not the battery information, is just about the battery, but the rest are all actions that she can do. She can do a lot more actions, but for this little experiment, I'm just having her do those actions that you see. So what I'm gonna do is chop this video up a little bit. I'm not gonna go straight through because I want to show you exactly how I did this. So this video is going to be a little technical, but I'm going to set this up so that anybody who wants to control Misty from the blockchain is able to. I've set this up on a Zoom webinar. I used a webinar because everything else was either you had a time limit for how long you could have the video go, or the latency was just unbelievably horrible, like 30 seconds. So this was the best option. I can keep this on for I think up to 24, 36 hours, but I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to keep it on for maybe about 12 to 16 hours a day. So if anybody wants to go play around with this or play around with Misty after I show you how to do it, and I also have some directions, you're more than welcome to log on to the Zoom and do whatever you want. I'll probably leave this up for a week or two, depending on if people want to do it or if they don't. If it's popular, I'll leave it up for 2 weeks. If not, I'll probably take it down in a week or so. So I'm going to stop here, or stop the video here, and then set everything up, and I'm going to come back to show you exactly how this works. Okay, I'm back. So I got everything set up. So we're going to start from the robot and work our way out back, and I'm going to explain how everything works. It's really pretty simple. There's just a program that basically takes in information and then sends it to an API to make the robot do some actions. So this is the way it works. So the robot works with an API. So I can give you a quick example of the. Actually, let's just do the transaction, and you'll see when I send the transaction to the blockchain, you'll see the robot move instead of just showing you how the API works. The real thing we want to do here is the transaction. So okay, so what you see here in front of you is these are the commands to put some metadata on the blockchain. I credit this to the real Adam Dean from Spakra. He gave this to me a couple months ago, I think now, and I've been kind of playing around with it forever. But this is from the real Adam Dean. I'm not sure where he got it from, but that's where I got this. So this first command here just checks the parameters, make sure the parameters haven't changed. I know they haven't changed, so we're not gonna run this command. This command here is going to query my my payment address. Okay, so before anyone freaks out, this is I spun up a separate instance, and this is just a relay node I'm doing this on, and I only have like 3 ADA in this account. So if anyone wants to figure out a way to steal it from me, have at it. Okay, so I got this information from my account. I need these hashes. So these hashes need to be put into the commands here. This is how it knows where to get my money from, evidently. So I'm going to paste a hash there. I think I pasted these previous. Yeah, I already pasted these two. Okay. So after those are in there, we need to get a draft of the transaction. Now, before I do this, if you see here, it is making the draft based on this robot.json file. This is the file you need to manipulate to send to the blockchain to get the robot to move around. So let's take a look at this file. Okay, so it's a really simple file. The robot, like I said, doesn't do too much stuff. So real quickly, this is very important. This is the ID of where it goes in the blockchain. This is where the program is looking for the metadata. If you don't keep this ID, it's definitely not going to work. Okay, so we have some commands here. Turn right, turn left, go forward, go backwards. Only one of these can be true at a time. Okay, so I kind of simplified this because it's just, there's a lot of different things going on with this robot with API, so I just made it simple so it goes forward, back, and you can turn it around. So only one of these things can be true at one time. The duration is milliseconds. On the documentation, I have kind of a write-up of the milliseconds and how many milliseconds you need to put in there to do a complete turn or 3/4 of turns, etc. And you can't hit the wall. So if you try to run this thing into the wall, it has sensors. It'll stop before it hits the wall. So this has sensors and bumpers on it. So I know you can't do anything to it. So that's why I didn't limit the duration you can put in there, because it'll just stop if you hit a wall. And hopefully none of you will run it in circles for hours. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'll be around. If I keep hearing go in circles, I'll come check out what's going on. Okay, so this is the moving the arms. The arms go from, I think, 90 degrees down to 30 degrees like this, so it doesn't hit its head. And I'm going to have a link with all the documentation, API documentation from Misty, from the robot's website, so you can see exactly what this stuff does. This moves ahead, pitch, roll, yaw. Okay, we'll keep the, actually no, we'll change these to 0, because that'll make her look straight ahead, right? So let's change these to 0. And also, I forgot to do this. So we want to get her off the charger. So let's make her go forward. Let's change. Get this false to true here. And let's give her, so make sure she gets off that thing. Let's do 3,000. Let me double check and make sure I got this right. Is it 3,000? I think it's 3. I think 3,000 is good. We'll keep it at that. Hopefully that's good enough. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, the left and right arm position, we can put these to 0. She'll have her arms coming straight forward. I think are they straight forward now? I'll tell you what. I'm going to put one at 30 and one at -30. Leave that so they'll like kind of go like this. All right, expression. Now this, I don't know if this is going to come through on the video. What this is this is her light underneath. You can change the color of the light, but it doesn't seem to come through really well in the video, so I'm not going to worry about that. This makes her eyes blink and the flashlight come on. I'll keep those two true. You'll see her little flashlight come on. Okay, let me save this. Okay, so in that all that stuff is in the documentation. So by the way, to drive her and to do this, you're going to have to look at the documentation and watch this video. It's kind of a combination of the two that explain everything. Okay, so we edited the robot file. Now let us create the draft. We need the draft to find out how much the transaction is going to cost. Oh, I didn't copy the full command. Okay, so let's try that again. So this puts out a draft file. If you're wondering what, let's go to the next one. If you're wondering what this transaction in and out is, it's kind of beyond the scope of this, but the way UTXO works, it's interesting. So I can't just pay the fee for this. It takes all the money I have, right, and then takes the fee out and then returns me the money. So that's why you have transaction in and transaction out, because I have to be refunded something. And that's the simple version of it. Obviously, there's a lot more to it. Okay, so let's run this and see how much this is going to cost. This is going to calculate the fee for us. Okay, so the fee is 333 Lovelace. That's a couple cents, I think. I think it's like 3 cents, 4 cents. I don't know. The price went up a little bit unaided today, but it's pretty cheap to run these. So now that we have that, now we have to. So we have to figure out how much change I'm going to get, because we have to tell the blockchain how much change to give us back. It doesn't figure it out for us. So what we have to do is we have to the XP expression, right? XPR. So we got to take this amount here. I always copy and paste, because when I don't, I always seem to mistype it. Okay, and we have to subtract from that the cost. This is the cost. Bam. Okay, so we have two figures we need. We need the return amount or the refund and the cost of the transaction. We need to put that in the next command, but before we do that, we're going to query the tip, because we have to make sure that we tell it when to, not when to do this, but we have to get to a point at which if we don't call this command, it will not work, right? So we have to find out what the slot number is and add some amount to this. I usually just come in here and I'll change like a 7 to an 8. You'll see. So let me first come up to this command that we have to edit. So this is the command we have to edit. This is the change, right? So we have to come here, and this is the change that we calculated. So we need to take this here, and we need to paste that in there. So that's the change we're getting back. Now we have to take the cost. So the cost is right here. So let's copy the cost. And this is the cost right here. That is the cost. And then last but not least here, let us take the slot number. We're going to put that in here. But we need to increase this. So we'll increase this 2 to a 3, and that will give us way more than enough room for this transaction to go through. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create the raw transaction. We have all the information in. Whoops, I did something wrong. What did I do? I'm going to pause here for a second. Well, actually, I'm going to pause here for a second and figure out what this is, and I'll come right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so what I did, when I copied this over, so if you look at my, I don't have my address up there anymore. So you need the hash plus the number that's after the hash. Number sign 0 was what was after the hash on my address there. I had copy and pasted, and this got torn off the back, so it wasn't working. So let's again try to create the hash, or I'm sorry, the raw transaction. All right. Now let us sign the transaction. Okay, this next one I'm going to paste here. If all goes well, the robot should run. Now it's going to take anywhere from I've seen it happen in 5 seconds to up to 30 seconds. Hopefully it's pretty quick. So here goes nothing. All right, so we'll sit here and we'll just watch the video. See what happens. See if this works. Come on, Misty. There she goes. Oops. And there's her head. I must have, I don't know what I did. Maybe I had something in the transaction to make it turn a little bit. But there you go. So I posted to the blockchain, and I could show you here where I posted to the blockchain. Let me see if I can show you that, how to look at that real quick here. Okay. So this is the graphQL playground for IOHK for the Cardano blockchain. Let me just get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. Okay, hopefully you can see all of this. So this is the ID number, right, that I sent to the blockchain. So let's query this ID number, and you're going to see a lot in here because I've been playing around with this. But if we go all the way to the bottom, to the last one, you will see that here we go. 3,000, go forward, true. Oh, see, I turned left, true, too. I forgot. I didn't see that. That's why it did that, although it kind of turned to the right. So I think I have something switched in the code, so I'll have to fix that. But that's why it kind of did that. And the arm position and the blinking and the flashlight is probably still on. So that's kind of how to work this in a nutshell. So the way it works, well, first of all, I downloaded the GraphQL backend from IOHG, and I have that running on a server, on another AWS server. I created a React app. Essentially what the React app does is it queries every 10 seconds, it queries the blockchain. If something changes, it sends the signal or the change to one of, I think 1, 2, 3, like 5 APIs. All right, and then that's when it works. So that's why it takes a little while, because it's 10 seconds to query, and then it sends it to the APIs. And the battery API auto queries every minute just to get up-to-date information on the battery. So I believe down in the documentation, or down below the video, the GitHub documentation, that has everything you need. That has the code, well, the code obviously, and it also has the metadata sample, and you can adjust it, and it has the directions how to post the metadata. To post the metadata, you need either a wallet or a node. I'm sure whoever's going to do this probably knows that. So anyway, that's it. I hope someone gives it a shot. So I'm going to try to keep it on during the day. If you have any questions, I'll leave an email down below too. Just email me, and I'll leave the Zoom information with the Zoom code. So just going on the Zoom. The Zoom is on a Linux that I don't really have. I don't always have the screen on, so I'm not always looking at it. But you can try to text me or get in touch with me through that. If I happen to be in front of the computer looking at it, I'll absolutely get back to you. So I hope you found this as interesting as I did, because I thought this was kind of cool. Just a cool little thing to do with the blockchain, with the metadata. So anyway, thank you very much for checking this out, and I will talk to you later.